ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold?
Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Watch the show live on Facebook
and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
Welcome in, Hoist the Colors on a Tuesday. It's a May 12th edition of the program. Excited for the hour ahead. We've got a lot to get to, including a giveaway. The Down East Bird Dogs open their season tonight in Kinston. We're going to give away 2 season tickets going into our first break, so stay tuned for that. And we'll take a caller as our winner, so stay tuned for that. So that is coming. Obviously, we've got a cancellation to talk about. ECU and Campbell have canceled their game. What do we make of that? Is it time to end this series, or is that overly dramatic? We'll get into that. We'll also check in around the region, take a look at ECU's potential at-large hopes as well, despite ECU being on the wrong side of the bubble now. I did see one projecting this morning that still has ECU in the tournament. And we're going to visit with Cason Remaley, who is with us as he joins us every few weeks these days. Always good to have Cason on. We're going to ask Cason a little bit later if he's back in on ECU basketball, so looking forward to that. But also a lot going on his way with Carolina Curveball and conference tournaments nearing Cason, so it's that time of year. I think we're going to try to get Braxton and maybe yourself on as well. We've got a watch-along potentially planned for next week. We don't have any idea when it'll be for ECU baseball. We're going to try to get you in for that too, depending on your schedules. But it's that time of year, man. Unfortunately, the Pirates just aren't playing very well.
Yeah, it is that time of year. I will say it feels like a few weeks ago it was Valentine's Day and the season was kicking off, and now we're here. Conference tournaments are here, and the Pirates, it still feels like the first weekend because the Pirates dropped that series versus Xavier and they dropped the first game, and you're like, hey, don't worry. It's the first series of the year. It's going to be okay. But it was the same story all the way now until May 12th. But looking forward to conference tournaments and regionals, best time of year, one of my favorite times of year, whether it's, I like it more than college football playoff, not more than March Madness just yet, but I love it very much. And on the 11.7 website, they have like a tournament bracket projector, and it says right now, according to their bracket in junction with the American, they play at 9 a.m., if I'm not mistaken.
ECU would play at 9 a.m.?
Yes.
On what day would this be? Friday?
Yeah.
Oh,
Friday.
my God.
That is what me and Braxton looked at last night, 9 a.m. That's where the 2 seed slot's at.
I mean, I don't hate it. It would stink for our watch-along, but at least we get out of the way.
We wouldn't even be get the watch-along
Correct.
started on time. That'd be the crappy thing, because Henry's shows ran out of here. And we can't run it out of the back studio because the game is being ran out of the back studio. And then you guys' commentary would be going over the stream or over the feed of Dylan.
That also means that we need to have a breakfast sponsor, potentially, for because usually we get Sups or Basil's. So obviously, they support the program in a great way, but I don't think either of those restaurants are breakfast restaurants.
All right, Brett, you've got 9 days to come up with a breakfast menu. Figure it out.
Cason said he's down for 9 glizzies and 9 innings starting at 9 a.m.
Should we do 9 glizzies, 9 eggs, 9 innings?
I was going to say
I'm
9
down.
glizzies, 9 mimosas, 9 innings.
Yeah. We will have a show that day if ECU does play at 9 a.m. So that would be interesting. Do we take the watch-along into the live show? Then we'd have to really watch our language. So I tell you what, we'll reconvene, but that presents some challenges if it is a 9 a.m. first pitch. But I guess we'll figure it out. And I guess we could not. I guess we couldn't take the air with our show until the game ends, right, Philip? So
yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that, and then if they play the second game, that's 47 minutes after the first game. So our show would lead into the broadcast of the game. So there'd be that side of things too.
Yeah.
Do we stop the stream? I think we would, just for the sake of family friendly, is it not family friendly? We would stop the show stream and restart so that we did not have any vulgar language on the official Hoist the Colors, stream.
Probably for the best. Well, there's your on-air meeting, throwing a wrench into our plans, but we can reconvene, come up with something. Once we should know by Saturday, maybe even before then, depending on how the rest of the weekend breaks out as far as the schedule. So let's start there, Cason Remaley. By the way, Philip Pilkington, you guys know his voice by now, but if you're wondering who that is Philip Pilkington. I don't think I ever formally introduced you, Philip, but he is our producer, and he's here. He's always doing a fantastic job behind the scenes. Cason, another series loss, man, and I don't know. I mean, it's just been a disappointing season. We've talked about it a lot. There have been highs, there have been lows. I know we got some comments I'll get to here in a minute from our good buddies Cameron and Lane, but just another frustrating weekend, and this weekend especially because you were one inning away from a series win.
It's just the same story every single weekend with 2 4-0 weeks sprinkled in, where it's like, oh, we're all the way back. And the injuries really caught up to this team, and I think injuries catch up to everybody. But I think at this level, and how long Cliff Godwin's been here, I think you should always have enough guys to perform. Maybe not at the highest level of guys like GBK, Weber, and Jenkins. But I mean, if you take the 3 best arms of any team in the country, they're going to have these injuries. And I'm not trying to make injury excuses, but they are legit excuses. And then you can flip it over to the offensive side. And there have been games where the just makeshift pitching staff does a great job, and the offense does not pull its weight either. And this season has been just so unexpected. You have those 3 injuries. You have the emergence of Davin Whitaker. Sabater's batting over 300. I mean, if you would have told me those things before the season, I would have said that's ridiculous. But if you would have told me that after the first game versus Xavier, I would have said, I think you're about right. That's how the season's going to go. But it is very disappointing. And the Campbell game being canceled isn't even disappointing at this point. I'm not even disappointed by it. I'm not even shocked by it. I think we should schedule Old Dominion this week every single season, because we are never going to play this Campbell game ever again if we schedule it. And also on the Campbell front, I mean, Campbell just lost to a 9-win Bradley team also. So, I mean, just even for Campbell, I think Campbell needs the RPI points too, because they just gave a team their first double-digit win of the year. Like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard mixed things on who, the whole mutual cancellation thing to me is kind of lame, because, like, it's not like both teams called and said, hey, let's cancel it at the same time. Now, maybe both teams kind of had thoughts of it, but the problem is this has become a systemic issue, not only with ECU and Campbell in this last game, but this is a college baseball issue. These games late in the season typically canceled because of RPI reasons. This one more so canceled because of neither team wants to exhaust its probably banged-up pitching staffs going into a key conference series. So, look, I mean, I'm not surprised. I am disappointed. If you're a fan and you have season tickets, you're losing a game you paid for just because the teams don't want to play. Like, that's not, fair to the consumer of the product. As a baseball fan myself, I enjoy covering the games. Yeah, I kind of am with Cason. I'm not that disappointed because, like, we've seen this team all year. Maybe it probably doesn't make that big a difference in the grand scheme of things. But I am fully of the belief that this series needs to be altered. If ECU is going to continue to go to Bowie's Creek the first week of the year, they need to move the home game up several weeks from the last midweek of the season, like sometime into more mid-April or even March, or at least early May at the latest. So I don't know, Philip, your take on this cancellation, other than maybe giving you some time off tomorrow night. All right, I guess you're still going to the Down East deal. So sorry.
I think the issue is, a lot of teams, Carolina, did it for RPI reasons. This one, like you guys said, it's the banged-up pitching staff. On top of it, you're playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week. Everything on paper makes sense to cancel this game. It makes sense to cancel this game every year. So let's stop scheduling a midweek the last week of the season. Let's still schedule 56 games, which you're required to do. And I know they don't like playing dual midweeks, and you already have to play 2 of them. Just play a third dual midweek in there somewhere, and don't play a midweek game here at the end of the season. And then now, it all comes down to when Memorial Day falls. Memorial Day falls very early this year, so our exam week was the second to last week of the season. It's usually the third to last week, but you could even have in this scenario where you've got back-to-back weeks with no midweeks, which I think actually is a good thing because, yes, is this pitching staff more depleted than past years? Sure, but every year, every pitching staff has injuries come mid-May, and the less amount of games that you have to play down the stretch that are meaningless, theoretically, in the grand scheme of the conference slate, why play them? Stockpile some games before you have all these injuries in late February, early March, and then you don't have this problem.
And if this was a game that ECU was 100% behind canceling more so than Campbell, then maybe the series stays the same because it's on ECU's end. But I've heard it was more mutual, and Campbell maybe even initiated it. So I don't know. It's something needs to be done though about this deal because it's kind of a farce at this point. Hunter in the chat says the next two Campbell games against ECU need to be played in Greenville, period, or not play at all. Schedule someone else. Eric in the chat says I'd rather not play them again. And then Arg Hill says pitching is the justification, but bottom line, nobody on the staff wanted to potentially take another L heading into the final weekend of the regular season. I mean, if we're scared to compete against Campbell, then our program that we cover is not what we think it should be. If you're scared to lose to Campbell, Campbell's got a great team, great program, but come on, man. That can't be the reason. I think it's more the pitching situation.
Yeah, and I mean, saying I don't want to play Campbell at all anymore. Come on, look, you play, your midweeks are drivable. That's how it works. You're going to play a drivable midweek, and they are a good team, and they schedule other tough teams. They play the triangle teams. They usually do have a decent RPI. If you get rid of the Campbell game, you're now adding in, another William and Mary or another VCU or a second Elon game. Would you rather play Campbell or one of those? Campbell's RPI is 70. And if they don't lose to Bradley this week, who I didn't even know had a baseball team, I didn't even know it was warm enough to play baseball in Illinois in February, then, their RPI is probably low 60s. So, saying you don't want to play Campbell, who do you want to play, I guess is my question. If you got a better answer, cool. But William and Mary, VCU, Elon is not a better answer.
Yeah, those are fair points. There's only so many teams that are an easy drive away. I mean, there's a lot of them, but obviously Campbell, one of those you want to keep on the schedule. All right, I got a question from the chat from Cameron that I think will be good discussion before we get a break in. Cason, I'll start with you. Cameron says, do you think the coaching staff overreacted in building this current roster after the success of some players in the tournament last year? I think we made some rash financial decisions due to recency bias. He adds, it appears more likely that the tournament success was a fluke last year. I've got some thoughts on this, but I'll let you go first, Cason, your thoughts on Cameron's question.
I don't think it's a fluke. I think maybe that could play a part of it, yes, but I think a person they were expecting to have a major role this season was Braxton Trammell, who has not played this season. I think that shook up a lot of things. We saw Colby Wallace playing shortstop to start the year, and that was a very bad experience that did not work out. And I think that could play a part into why we have not found a shortstop since 2022 with Zach Agnos, who's not even a shortstop anymore. But also, I think that, yes, with the offense, you could play it, but there's no way you could predict the injuries that happened. And I think that if the injuries didn't happen to the pitchers with GVK, Jenkins, Weber, Moran, and Tolik missing time, Paxton missed time, just the list goes on and on of guys missing time, and that's something that you cannot account for. And also with the offense, I mean, no one expected Davin Whitaker to do this at all. I mean, but I guess everyone's talking about Austin Irby in his season. Yes, it has been disappointing. Yes, he will be forever known for that Conway Regional and what he did in the conference tournament as well. But I think that if you are Cliff Godwin in that moment, of course, when you're making a team right after your season ends, when Austin Irby lights the world on fire and was the best player in the country, you're supposed to keep him. You're supposed to pay him what he's worth, because he could have easily gone somewhere like LSU or SEC school X. So I think that if you look at it from that point of view, right after the season, you have to hurry up and build your roster because of the portal, how crazy it is. I think it's perfectly reasonable what Cliff Godwin did in building this roster, in my personal opinion.
And I think, too, LSU was trying to recruit Austin Irby. So, maybe there was some overreaction to how he finished the year, but he also was a high-profile recruit and had some major positives as well. Philip, I don't know, anything to add here?
We've had guys in this program finish years off hot when they were just okay, and then come in the next year and pick up right where they've left off. And that's happened on multiple occasions, both with position players as well as a guy named Trey Savage and other pitchers as well. I think this decision is a lot easier to explain with the Irby thing, with it not going as well as we wanted it to, than it would have been of, well, you could have offered him X money to keep him, you didn't offer him, and now he's at LSU, or now he's at South Carolina, or wherever he would be. So, no. I mean, this didn't go as planned. This is not one of those situations like a Corey Cocker situation where even at the time we were like head scratching. Everybody wanted Irby. It was supposed to be this way. But, I think a lot of it is, too, the extra pressure is on Irby because Braxton Trammell's hurt, because Vogeley's hurt. Hakame hasn't really panned out the way we thought he would. So Peltier being hurt, right? So, we talk about the injuries on the pitching staff, man. The next dude has stepped up on the pitching staff. Whoever that guy has to be, he's stepped up. I don't know if the next dude has stepped up on the position player side. That still comes down to this. Everybody wants to keep talking about, pitching injuries, and it's back to what Cliff Godwin said on Sunday where we played the soundbite from him yesterday. Dude, I think it's more the position players and the pitching, and it's just the next dude not stepping up when somebody goes down.
All right, some other comments here if we get a break in. Hunter saying that Western Carolina, North Carolina A&T, UNCG, App State, High Point, all drivable. They are drivable, guys, but midweeks, they're all 2.5 to 4 hour range. And I know the Wilmington's a little bit of a far drive, and NC State, that's about an hour and a half at most. So you really want to keep it more so 2 hours and under. And UNCW, ECU got a rich history because you got to think about it. 6 p.m. start, 9:30 finish. You're not getting on the bus, leaving until 10. I mean, you're getting back at 1 in the morning, so you want to keep it in that 1 to 2 hour range, and Bowie's Creek obviously in that 1.5 hour range. So midweeks much beyond that just don't make a lot of sense from a drive because you're not staying the night. Is in an ideal world. Somebody threw out UVA and South Carolina. Those are also a little too far for midweeks.
Chris Pollard and Cliff Godwin are not going to be scheduling games against each other.
Yep, no doubt. All right, let's get a break in. As we go to break, we got to give away 2 season tickets to the Down East Bird Dogs in Kinston. They are underway tonight. Caller number 3. Philip, give me the number again. I forgot to ask you for it. What is the number folks need to call?
252-561-8255. That's 252-561-TALK.
There you go. Call that number now, 252-561. You said 8655?
8255.
8255. Okay, so 252-561-8255. Again, 252-561-8255. Caller number 3. 2 season tickets to the Down East Bird Dogs in Kinston. Their season starts tonight. Again, 252-561-8255. Let's get a break in. We'll come back. We will continue on this college baseball discussion on a Tuesday.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Health Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arrgh!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice.
Climb aboard as we set sail and hoist the colors.
Ahar, matey!
Back to the show with Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back here. Hoist the colors on a Tuesday. We're going to have our check-in from the Carolina Curveball perspective with Cason Remaley, who does a great job with his team running that. See who else is in the mix for a regional. Philip taking some calls and figuring things out on his end. So, Cason, I'm looking at the power rankings. ECU, I think every time we've had you on, they continue to move further and further down the list, down to number 11 in the Carolinas. They're behind High Point, Western Carolina, App State, Wofford, just ahead of Charleston Southern. You know, I've got mixed feelings about this, but you also have North Carolina at the top, as they should be probably. Wake Forest, Coastal dropping after finally losing a pretty shocking series to ODU, but hey, everybody has a bad weekend. Campbell up there at number 4, State at 5. Clemson, I'm surprised Clemson is 6, despite being so bad in the ACC. So what do you make of this week's power rankings?
They are interesting for sure. We had a lot of different power rankings throughout our process of making these, but like you said, excuse me, North Carolina, clear number 1 team in the country. And Wake Forest has been playing very, very well of late. Wake Forest has talent all over their lineup and on the mound as well. And I think this could be a good year for Wake Forest because the expectations are not necessarily there. Like in 2024, when they were the preseason number 1 team in the country, had Nick Kurtz and Chase Burns, who are now playing in the show, which is unbelievable. And all the other talent on that team, like Merrick Houston, list goes on and on. But this year, they're good, but the spotlight isn't necessarily on them. So looking forward to seeing what they do in the ACC tournament as well as regionals. And like you said, Coastal dropping a series was kind of wild to Old Dominion. And we've said all year that the injuries have not caught up to Coastal Carolina, but they finally have started to really, really catch up to them. Their offense has not been explosive all year, and the pitching injuries have finally caught up to them. Campbell there, NC State, and yes, Clemson has had a rough year, but when Jaron Purify is in the Clemson lineup, they're 22-7, and he is back healthy. So Clemson has been playing better as of late. High Point strengthened its grip on the Big South, probably going to win that tournament. And then Western Carolina has had a phenomenal year. And Steven, this is kind of wild. So you got Western Carolina and Mercer both tied at top of the SoCon at 12-6. Mercer got swept by Western Carolina, but Mercer is first in the conference because they have a better overall record. And me and Braxton did a lot of research, and we're pretty sure overall record is the tiebreaker, even though Western Carolina swept them.
That's beyond stupid. I mean, it does I think Mercer has played a pretty good schedule, but to go with overall record instead of head to head is a joke. And I guess they are 38 in RPI. So they have a good team, but they did play the 245th non-conference strength of schedule. So that's whatever, man. I guess that's what you expect from the Southern Conference. I did want to ask you, it's very interesting. If ECU gets itself back onto the bubble here, I don't think it's going to happen, but let's just say they sweep FAU and kind of get back into that 40 RPI. They're going to be watching the stolen bids category, and I am curious, let's say High Point doesn't win the Big South, but the tournament, because obviously they need the auto bid in theory, but they are 40th in RPI. They could get an at-large. And I am curious what the committee would do between, let's say, ECU's in that range along with High Point, and then Western Carolina right there as well in the 50s. So, do you think any of these teams have the resume to get in if they don't win the conference tournament in their respective smaller leagues?
I honestly do not think so. We talked about that on our show last night, because one that we discussed on our show was Mercer, because Mercer last night when we looked was sitting at 38 in the RPI, and Western swept them, and Western is tied for first in the SoCon. And it's is Mercer going to get in at an at-large? So can Western Carolina steal a bid there? Possibility for that. Campbell has not been playing well as late, and then Wilmington hosts Campbell this weekend, and then Wilmington also hosts the CAA tournament. So maybe Wilmington can possibly steal a bit there. In the A10, Davidson not going to steal a bid over St. Joe's. St. Joe's is 21-2 in the conference. You said Big South. It's between High Point and Winthrop. Winthrop definitely not getting an at-large. High Point on the outside looking in right now. Sunbelt, App State could potentially steal a bid. App State's been playing really good baseball of late. Just dropped a series to Louisiana, though. But, Southern Miss has been pretty up and down this season. Southern Miss and Coastal did not play this season, so maybe App State. I know I'm shooting for the stars here, but App State maybe. But, not many teams on our power rankings or in the Carolinas are going to get at-larges from mid-major conferences.
NC State probably on the right side of the bubble despite a series loss at Stanford, and this is a huge weekend playing North Carolina, Cason. So, I've talked with Wags. Even USA Today, which I don't know how tapped in they are. They had a projection this morning that ECU is the last team in, even after back-to-back series to Rice and Memphis. So the bubble must be extremely weak. State was in that group as well. Do they need to win this series, or are they still in even if they just win a game? Obviously, getting swept would be problematic.
I think that if they win a game, they're feeling better, and I also think they need to win a game or two in the ACC tournament. But, let's just be real here. The injuries have caught up to them, and also they're playing North Carolina, who is one of the best teams in the entire country, one of the best pitching staffs. Ryan Lynch and DeCaro have been lights out as of late. I don't see them winning this series versus North Carolina, and honestly, I could see them getting swept, but I think they have some work to do in the ACC tournament, so that is a positive for them. But traveling to Stanford, traveling across the country, no matter how good you are, is always tough. So that will be Interesting for sure this weekend. The Carolina Curveball crew will be at Doak this weekend because it is Colby Gallimore's birthday on staff, so we will be boots on the ground for that one on Friday night.
Any other things around the Carolinas that we're keeping an eye on, just in terms of hot teams that could make a run in the conference tournament, other at-large bubble host teams? I guess Coastal's now on that bubble host, just as they look like a lock, and now they're like 25th in RPI.
Real quick before Cason, as this, Wags put them he put them in that. They're doing the pods now of 4 for the 2s. He has them all the way down to the second pod. So I'm just throwing that out there as to where they're projecting in one of the things. But I'll let Cason go.
A scrappy team the real tournament that we're going to have a lot of focus on is the SoCon tournament, because Wofford, who has been phenomenal this season, 33-18 overall. You got Western Carolina in there, and the Citadel, who has arguably, you could argue, one of the best pitching staffs in the Carolinas. Will Holmes, Andrew Buffkin, and Trip Brown. Will Holmes has been on our honor roll, I think, eight or 9 times. He's been phenomenal. The Citadel could also steal a bid. The SoCon is a big conference we're going to be watching. The CAA we're pretty interested in because we're curious if someone can take down Campbell. Campbell has like a 6-game lead in that conference. And then the Big South is going to go between High Point and Winthrop. But High Point did just sweep Winthrop at home. And this High Point team also went down to Gainesville and took a series versus the Gators earlier this season. So looking forward to conference tournaments for sure. And hopefully the Pirates not playing at 9 a.m. because I don't want glizzies and eggs at 9 a.m.
Yeah, obviously you want them to have the 2 seed, but that is the side effect there. Just looking at High Point, I think even if they don't win the conference tournament and the Big South is not good, it's like the 14th best league. I think their non-conference strength of schedule of 36, RPI of 40, and that series win could get them in as an at-large. They're like the one team I see. But historically, those types of conferences do not get at-large bids due to how weak the leagues are. But we'll see. If ECU gets back onto the bubble, major if, you probably want High Point to win that tournament, just to be safe. Cason, the American, speaking of shooting itself in the foot, UTSA, freaking Memphis is killing the American. UTSA loses the series to Memphis. They drop all the way from high 30s, low 40s to 50 in RPI. ECU down to 52. And UAB loses a second consecutive series. They're down to 63. This looked like a maybe 3-bid league. It now looks like a 1-bid league potentially. So can any of these teams make a run and get back in, including your Pirates?
Yeah, well, my bold prediction to begin the season was the American is a 3-bid league. Also on Carolina Curveball, be on the lookout. At the end of the season, we're going to run back our bold predictions and quote tweet them. James Mouse, someone on our staff, said North Carolina would not make the NCAA tournament, so that's a big wash. One of my bold predictions also, yeah, you can laugh. One of my bold predictions also was Coastal Carolina would not host the NCAA regional, so that one's looking pretty good right now. And I had Western Carolina wins the SoCon and makes the tournament. So 2 of mine are looking pretty good. But like you said, Memphis, one of the most interesting teams in the country. They make no sense. They'll beat ECU, UTSA, but then they'll lose the DH Conley the following week. So, you never really know what's happening with them. But on the positive news for us, Charlotte right now is in the tournament because they have the head-to-head over Tulane. So that is good for them. And do I see the Pirates making a run in the tournament? No, I do not. I just think with the pitching injuries and with just the morale. But then again, when they go down there and they spend their 37 minutes on the beach and the weather's 95 and hot and there's no one in the stadium, they just turn into like the 2025 LA Dodgers. So I don't know. We'll see.
Scott Lorbacher made a comment last night in our podcast. He looked at the weather, saw that it was 85 degrees and sunny in Boca, and he predicted an ECU sweep because it's going to be hot in Florida. So we did have a question I'll ask to both of you. Hunter says, hypothetical scenario, if ECU sweeps FAU and then makes it all the way to the conference championship game but lose, do they get in? I'm going to say yes if that happens. A lot of it will depend on the bubble and stolen bids, but I think yes.
I think they would, as long as, last year there were 2 big-time bid steals, right? I mean, ECU was one of them. But then also, you don't want somebody else who's on the bubble to go on a run, especially because they'd be playing better competition. Most of the other teams in the bubble are in bigger leagues. Now, the great thing is if they were to lose, 2 games in their conference tournament, all these other teams, that would affect it too. I do have a question for each of you guys. Under the old format, it was you get to fly back as long as you don't go 0-2. If ECU craps the bed this week, they end up somewhere in that 5 or 6 range. They go 0-1. Does Cliff Godwin make them bust back from Clearwater?
At that point, I mean, you probably will have lost the series to FAU. That means you're losing 3 series going in. You follow that with a loss in the conference tournament in the single elimination round. I think you're definitely busting back. Some guys
you're
may
definitely
be left
busting
in Clearwater.
back. Yeah, you're definitely busting back and then stopping in each state playing a local high school as punishment on the way back up.
That would be pretty good. So there's your baseball discussion. Last thing, Cason, throw out where you did your podcast last night. You guys do a lot of great discussion. Enjoy listening to that. Where can people find that?
You can find us at Carolina Curve BB on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, as well as Instagram. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Carolina Curveball. We also have Spotify. That is where we post our audio of the show. We're going live tomorrow night to preview the weekend because all the series begin on Thursday. So be sure to follow us on social media. Also, we have another projected Field of 64 coming out tomorrow morning. We have 3 more coming out. We're going to have one tomorrow, Monday, and then the next Sunday for the selection show. So be on the lookout for those. Our last one, we had ECU in the Gainesville Regional, which would be a lot of fun. It was Florida, Virginia, ECU, and Bethune-Cookman. Talk about Florida and then Virginia, ECU. Cliff Godwin would be having a field day.
There'd be a few ejections in that. Unfortunately, the Pirates played themselves out of probably the latest projection, but we'll find out. Stay tuned for the Carolina Curveball projection. All right, we'll come back. We'll get Cason's thoughts on his first love, Pirate basketball. Is he back in on Mike Schwartz and the Pirates? A lot of good moves. We'll ask Cason how he feels about that after this.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you farm to fork beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to fork beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
In Eastern North Carolina, people appreciate things that are straightforward, honest, and dependable. For decades, our team has focused on cutting through insurance complexity for the communities we serve. And now, we're bringing that same mindset to our name. We're Flatlands Insurance Group, a simpler name that reflects the same local team, the same values, and the same commitment to the great communities we feel blessed to be a part of. Flatlands Insurance Group, your whole world is covered.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Inner Banks Media presents the return of Concert on the Common.
This year, we're live from the tailgate lot at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium.
Coming up May 21st, Trial by Fire, a tribute to Journey.
Join us Thursday, May 21st for Trial by Fire at the new Tailgate Plaza next to Town Bank Tower at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium.
Details at concertonthecommon.org.
All right, welcome back in. Segment 3 here. Shout out to our winner, Blake Henderson, for the season tickets to the Down East Bird Dogs. Again, they open their home slate tonight against Quebec. So Quebec coming to Kinston, North Carolina to play some indie ball. Should be a great one. You can find Philip and Patrick Johnson out there, right? You guys going to be breaking this one down, Philip?
We got PJ's show out there live 5 to 6, and then I will be on WNCT from 6 to 7 as well out there. So, Cason, you're kicked off the show for doing the 6-7 thing. You're officially banned. It's not even my show, but I'm doing it and banning you. So yeah, come out and doors open at 6. It's $2 Tuesdays, which means it's only $2 to get in, and select concessions are $2. So cheap night. Pirates are off now, so no reason not to come out. Say hey to me and Patrick from 5 to 6. Gates open at 6. 7 o'clock first pitch, and they're playing some Canucks.
No doubt. And then this weekend they'll host New Jersey. They'll hit the road next week and then be back the final weekend of May against Ottawa for 6 consecutive games, starting that Tuesday through Sunday. So
how does this league afford to have teams in Quebec and Ottawa? Which Ottawa is in Quebec or is it in Alberta? It's like right on the line. Which I don't remember which one. I think it's in Alberta.
I do not know Canadian geography well enough to know.
Yeah, and coming down here, too bad our intern Kayleen, who's from Canada, is not in today. She could give us a quick geography lesson. How can they afford this? Like, this can't be a financially wise decision, but whatever.
You wouldn't think so, but hey, it's a chance for us in Eastern North Carolina to check out some baseball that's not involving ECU. So check that out. Support the Down East Bird Dogs. All right, Cason Remaley. Michael Schwartz has been hard at work. Him and his staff. Nick Mattson, Justin Gray, hired. And look, Philip and I are going to dive into this roster a little bit next week, but we'll hit it more broad strokes here with you. I kind of like how this is coming together. I mean, there are some unknowns and some prove-it things to me, as you would expect with ECU's budget. But like all things considered, this has gone pretty good. Am I wrong there?
No, I think it's gone pretty well too. And the thing I like the most is just this team has size. I mean, they got a 7'1" commit. Is it Maxime? You say his last name.
Maxime Klitschko.
Maxime Klitschko. I like that. I like that signing. I will say the one thing about these foreign guys, I mean, every foreign guy that commits to a college basketball team, the agent or whatever, whoever helps him sign says, he plays for the top league. But you never know about the competition of some of these leagues, because my good friends Breon Pass and Cam Hayes, I watched some of their games overseas in Switzerland or whatever, and I mean, some of the guys they were playing against, I mean, Philip, Steven, us three could be out here and we blend in. So, I mean, you never really know the competition level overseas sometimes. And like NC State one season had a guy who was the #1 draft pick in the Canadian League and came to NC State and couldn't even touch the floor. So I'm not going to say he's going to be outstanding, but I do like the size at 7'1", 240. And I also like the other commits. I mean, I really like the guards. I really like Bryson Belaine. He is a volume shooter. I love that. Is this roster set, Steven? Do they have any more spots open?
They need one more. They have room for one more scholarship player in theory. Now with the limits, like you can technically scholarship, I think up to 15 or whatever the number is. But I would expect them to stick with the 13 scholarship. And then I did hear they're trying to bring in like a walk-on big just for depth. But most likely looking at kind of a combo guard, backup point guard type deal. So
what's you said backup point guard? What's Caleb LeCount doing?
No offense to Caleb LeCount, hopefully staying far away from Greenville. I love the young man, but I don't need any more Caleb LeCount. I need size. And look, for me, Cason Remaley is a question mark in terms of like he comes from a winning program and he brings some toughness, but he is undersized and he's not a great shooter. So I'm like, yeah, he's a great assist man. But is he going to be the answer at point guard stepping up to the American Conference? Now, the MAC played good basketball, but, like, I think if you get good point guard play, I like Blaine. Realistically, you're going to have Jordan Buchanan. You're going to have Jay Shane Woodard probably, and you're going to have Matthew Hinton coming off the bench along with Eli DeLaurier. Like, that's a solid, top 9, with Blaine and the Louisiana Tech transfer. Obviously, this new addition as well. Kasim Watson from UTEP, who's a stretch 4, and then probably Klitschko in the paint. Like, I mean, that's a solid 9 to me. And for me, it's just, do they have the point guard?
Did you want
Any
to
thoughts on Cason Remaley? Are y'all a believer?
I mean, like you said,
it's better than Calker.
Yeah, I mean, are you asking if the level of basketball is that much different in the American and the MAC? Probably not. I mean, this conference is not what it used to be because he came from – where did he come from again?
Kent State.
Yeah. So, look, now they probably have more – their bottom feeders are probably more – they probably have 3 to 4 versions of UTSA in their conference, whereas we've only got 1. But the top of that league is the top of this league. I mean, maybe not quite the level of Memphis and – South Florida, but like your night in, night out games are not going to be that much different. I don't think it's that much of a jump up. It's not like he's coming from the SWAC. Like he's coming from a conference you've actually heard of, a conference whose one bid team usually is like a 13 or a 14 seed.
So I know going into last year, Cason, they thought Jay Shane Woodard was going to have like a Jordan Riley season, not Jordan Riley last season, but a Jordan Riley like the year before, if that makes sense. Kind of like that number 3. Yes. Number 2 scorer. So my question is he healthy, A, and B, do you think he can get to that? Because he does profile as like a stat sheet stuffer. We just have never really seen him do that. And for me, he's the biggest wild card. Like I think if Jay Shane, if we had to go back and do our player-by-player previews, which me and you did several summers ago on Caleb LeCount and Val Pinedo, Jay Shane, my title would be like the biggest wild card for this team, Jay Shane. If he turns into the guy they think he can be, I think this team can be pretty good. But that's a major if.
And before I say, don't forget Quentin DeBunje. Don't forget him. We did a 30-minute segment.
Legend.
Quentin DeBunje.
But thank you for bringing that up because I had forgot.
But I definitely think he's an X factor for sure. And kind of like you said, he's a stat sheet stuffer. And I think a big thing about him, my favorite part about him is he plays hard. He plays hard. He gives it all. He gives it his all. He dives on the floor for loose balls. He plays hard defense. He has a whole lot of tips. Like he clogs the passing lane with his long arms. And I'm really curious of what his role is now because you have Cason Remaley and like, is he going to be the backup point guard like they said he was going to be 3 years ago? But you're going from a 5'11" point guard to Jay Shane Woodard, who is much taller than him. So I'm just curious on how this roster stacks up, and I will say it does concern me because the roster construction has not been great since Michael Schwartz has been here at East Carolina. So that is a concerning piece, but the one thing I do want to say positive is Jay Shane Woodard is a dog. He will give it his all no matter what the score is, no matter what the team's record is. So that is a positive for sure, and I think he's willing to do whatever it takes for this team to win.
So are you back in? Are you going to be following Pirate basketball closer this year?
I'm back in. I'm going to be back in until Feast Week, and then when they drop 2 versus Jacksonville State and Toledo, I'm going to be like, I may drop back out. But As of right now, I'm in. I'm all the way in.
All right, I'll count you in for our summer player-by-player breakdowns. I'm looking at this roster now. Yeah, the 2023-24 roster featured Caleb LeCount, Logan Bourgeois, Quentin DeBunje, your boy Cam Hayes, Val Pinedo, Jaden Walker, Ben Salvungo, Benjamin Baela, a.k.a. Scottie Pippen, Sear Malanga, and Callum Richard. Also with Ezra Asar, Bobby Pettiford, Brandon Johnson, and R.J. Felton. So tough supporting cast there for the guys. But all right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll hit quickly on NHL, NBA playoffs. We haven't talked about that in a few days, so we'll do that. And we'll wrap up the show after this.
The power of savings is yours at Greenville Toyota with powerful deals on our huge selection of new Toyotas, like a Camry, $229 a month, or the all-new RAV4, $279. Don't miss the power of savings at Greenville Toyota.
In Eastern North Carolina, hard work matters, and it always has. At Flatlands Insurance Group, we've been showing up for our neighbors since 1963, helping families and business owners navigate change, weather tough seasons, and keep moving forward. Decades later, our purpose hasn't changed: to help protect what you've poured your time and energy to, from your home to your health to whatever comes next. Flatlands Insurance Group, your whole world covered.
Need cash for a vacation? National Finance Company is here to help. For over 50 years, National Finance Company has been the small loan specialist with loans from $1,000 to $5,000 with low payments to meet your budget. We're in the business of getting you the cash you need today. Apply online for a loan at one of our convenient branch offices and get your money as fast as today. It's easy. Get the vacation cash you need. For extra cash, visit nfcmoney.com.
Your future is full of possibilities, and Pitt Community College can help you explore every option. You can earn a degree, learn a trade, transfer to a university, or launch a new career. We offer the support you need to succeed with flexible schedules, affordable tuition, and programs designed for the real world. Your path, your future, your college. Pitt Community College. Register now.
Visit Larry's Steakhouse for a tender, hand-cut certified Angus ribeye. Other entrees include perfectly seasoned pork chops, chicken or seafood favorites like shrimp, tuna, and salmon. Complement your meal with Larry's fresh 20-plus item salad bar, or enjoy it as an all-you-can-eat entree. Daily rotating favorites include meatloaf, chicken pastry, hamburger steak, spaghetti, pork chops, and more, all complemented with your favorite country sides. Whether it's for lunch, dinner, or our Sunday brunch, remember to support and eat local. Larry's Steakhouse.
The hunting and fishing event of the summer comes to the Greenville Convention Center, July 11th and 12th, bringing together the best hunting and fishing vendors, outfitters, and fishing experts, all under one roof. Special free events, including a mountain trout pond, indoor archery range, offshore fishing experience, interactive duck blind, and free seminars. Don't miss it. The Mid-Atlantic Hunting and Fishing Expo is July 11th and 12th.
With new Toyota trucks from $259 a month, you've got the power of savings at Greenville Toyota. Drive Tacomas $259 a month or Tundras only $399 a month at Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
Everything you need to know in the world of ECU athletics.
This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Final segment here, HTC on a Tuesday. Appreciate Cason Remaley joining us. Philip Pilkington back in 94.3 The Game studios as well. Final few minutes of the show. We haven't talked too many NBA, NHL playoffs lately because it is getting a little more scarce with teams still playing. And in the NBA, you had the Thunder complete the 4-game sweep of the Lakers last night. Sorry, James Giglio. We'll get the Lakers postmortem there. What's next for LeBron on Wednesday with James. The Cavs tied the series with the Pistons 2-2, winning both home games going to Game 5. And then tonight, you've got critical Game 5 between the Minnesota Timberwolves and San Antonio. And obviously the other series in the East, the Knicks just mopped the floor with the Sixers. Cason, what intrigues you from what's left in the NBA despite the or besides the Thunder's flopping?
Yeah, the Thunder's ridiculous, Steven. Me and you text, I think every single night they play, just how ridiculous they are. It's just, their team is unbearable. But I am liking the Timberwolves Spurs series. Anthony Edwards is just a different level of dog. He is unreal. I mean, it's honestly fascinating to watch. And then Victor Wembanyama is good when he's not elbowing Naj Reid in the throat. That was pretty wild. And the Cavs Pistons will go to 7 games. The Cavs will win game 6 because they cannot win a game outside of Cleveland, but they'll win their home game. So that'll be a good series. And then the Knicks on their way. And I'm going to say something. I'm going to give the Carolina Hurricanes their flowers. Good for them for winning 8 straight. Good for them. Good for them.
I was going to ask you, yeah, I mean, you are a Carolina Hurricanes hater. I am as well. A little bit less so this year, but I am pulling for Avalanche Hurricanes final. I think it would be electric, Philip. And Avalanche take a 3-1 series lead with a big road win last night in Minnesota. Do you think it's trending that way? And who would you like if it gets to that point?
You know, it's interesting. It kind of feels like it is turning that way, like the 2-1 seeds. Like, how much chalk is that? But no, I think those are the best 2 teams in the NHL. I would lean Carolina right now, just because right now I think whether it's Wedgie or it's Blackwood, they're not doing as good in net as Freddie Anderson. I think overall, if I had to take the 18 skaters, I'd take Colorado. But the way Freddie's playing, I'd take the Hurricanes.
Tonight you have Montreal hosting Buffalo. Montreal's up 2-1 in that series. Again, crazy. The Canes series has been over for a couple of days now. They're just now playing Game 4. And then Vegas and Anaheim 2-2 in their series going head-to-head tonight in Vegas. All right, Cason, we're out of time, man. Appreciate you as always. Great job.
Of course. Thank you, guys. Good to be on and ready for conference tournaments and eggs and glizzies.
We'll try to finalize that schedule and get you and Braxton on next week as well. Hey, Braxton can join us for a watch along too if he wants to. He may be too busy watching the Tar Heels, but we'll try to make it happen. Philip, thanks as always. Good stuff, my friend. We'll see you tomorrow when James Giglio is on, and we'll talk a little bit of everything tomorrow with James. Appreciate everybody in the comments section. Great stuff as always there. We'll see you 12 noon on Wednesday on HTC.